All right, you guys. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a backstory in terms of why I emphasize that you should not be a degenerate. Don't lean into it. Um, Forget the drugs, forget the weed, forget the alcohol, forget the cheap highs, forget the girls, forget the hookups. All of these things that I sort of fell into. I want to say part of it was because it was alluring, right, from the outside. Right, you go from not being able to get any tail to suddenly you're getting girls, or you're experimenting with going out, so you start drinking to sort of have that sort of social lubricant to go along with maybe going up to girls or talking to strangers, things of that nature. Um, all these things kind of go hand in hand, right? There's sort of like an aesthetic packaging that comes along with going out, drinking, hooking up, meeting people in those kind of nocturnal spaces, if you will. And like I said, I tasted that, right? I tasted the nectar of the West, if you will. And I wouldn't say I came away with much, right? In terms of like the benefits, I would say I'm glad I experienced it, but I'm happy I'm out of it, right? Because I couldn't imagine just staying in that world. It just didn't feel spiritually nourishing. If anything, it was spiritually dehydrating, right? And I think as I got older, I started realizing there was more important things, right? And so those things are all of the material world, right? But we almost never emphasize or look at sort of like the spiritual part of it, right? The your relationship to an external entity, right? There isn't that relationship, and I felt like I was missing that for most of that time, right? And so what do you do when you're missing sort of, you have this huge gap, right? You have a emptiness in terms of a belief system, is that you pretty much fall for anything, right? And in this case, you fall for all the things that look like they're going to be good for you, right? And indeed, they do feel good, right? It feels good to like hook up with a bunch of girls. It feels good to go out with your friends and drink and all these things, right? Momentarily, right, at the time. But then you leave away with hardly anything, right? Hangovers and maybe some heartbreaks from you and from the other person, right? It's just a lot of things that it leaves in the wake. And I just don't know if I given the chance to relive those things, if I would necessarily want to go the route that I went. Um, and I think I'm so like I wouldn't say fascinated, but I'm definitely intrigued by the direction people take, right? Because I think that once you get into that world, it's like it's kind of hard. Like, how do you get yourself out of it, right? Um, Especially because things are so uncertain nowadays, right? It's difficult to find somebody that you want to get serious with, right? There's a lot of, um, you know, a lot of lackluster opportunities to get with women, right? There's not a lot of high quality women out there, unfortunately. And they might say the same about men. That might actually be true, right? Um, like I said, until you get out there and see those things and do those things, um, it'll resonate with you. But I think it's important to try not to lean into a degenerate lifestyle. I know a lot of people that are, you know, older, and it seems like they just never get out of it, right? It's like they never want to grow up. It's children in older men bodies. It's crazy. So to save yourself the heartache, the mistakes, I would highly encourage you to not go and live like a degenerate, and really think about what it is that you want out of your life, right? What is it that you're really looking for? Because I don't know if, you know, being overweight, eating processed junk, consuming drugs, watching video games, or playing video games rather, watching Netflix, living your life on cruise control is really gonna get you what you want out of life, right? It's gonna get you a family or a responsibility, or to become a man, right? Or to be somebody that people wanna be, or to create value in this world, right? To leave a lasting legacy, to have impact. I really don't know if those things are gonna get you there, right? So it's just something to consider. Um, and ultimately, it's like those those things, right? Those vices, if you will, um, they're gonna distract you from your ultimate goals. Um, because that's really what it is, right? It's never gonna allow you to be the best version of yourself. I really don't know how watching, pixelated images of people doing intimate things and then going to the bathroom and hydra- and moisturizing your genitalia is really gonna get you there, right? Or staying at home and not working out, or being scared to go outside and meet new people, or doing all these things that is just cheap dopamine that's not really gonna get you anywhere. Do the hard things, right? Do the things that are scary. Do the things that you're fearful of. Do the things that give you anxiety. Like I said, I've been there, done that. I know what it feels like to be uncomfortable. I wouldn't say I'm constantly uncomfortable, but I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So it's not something that you can't change or get better at, right? You need to adapt, you need to grow, you need to be uncomfortable, all right? That is just kind of the responsibility and the privilege of being a man. It's really that simple, right? But if you stay in a degenerate sort of mindset, I don't see how you can make those changes, right, and be better. So it's just a word of advice, all right? Take it from someone that was a degenerate, right? A recovering degenerate, if you will. I think I've done things right. I think I've moved in the right direction. I think I made real important decisions and pivoted in a direction that I think I didn't want to continue on. And I see the difference to the people that did continue on those degenerate paths, and I want no parts of it. And like I said, this is coming from experience. At the end of the day, I don't want to talk about or say things about things that I haven't experienced firsthand. I just feel like it would be wrong of me and misleading at best to offer advice about something I haven't experienced myself. So I hope this helps.